What's going on, YouTube? This is my first video in a minute, and I've kind of taken time to make this video just because of a lot of things going on in my life, academically, financially, that sort of thing. And I feel like I'm in a pretty good position that I kind of wanted to start doing YouTube again and kind of starting to push the kind of content I want to make. And one of these is, you know, making videos about anime, gaming, that sort of thing. And this is one I kind of want to talk about just because it's an anime that hits really close to home when I've been watching since its very early stages, in season one, and that being My Hero Academia, as you can see from the title. Like I said, an anime that hits close to home with one of the most critical fan bases imaginable, probably the most critical fan base in anime, to be honest. What I wanted to talk about in this video, though, was the fact that a lot of news articles, a lot of things like that are posting that the MHA manga is going to end soon. I kind of wanted to hear what you guys thought about this, how you guys were feeling about this news, and how the critical MHA fandom feels about this news. But I kind of wanted to see what the overarching opinion is of a series like My Hero Academia ending at such a high peak in the series. And I would say it is at its peak with everything that's kind of happening in the anime in season 7, especially with one of the biggest characters, which I don't want to spoil because, again, it's, something huge, something very relevant to the plot. And news that such a critical fandom wouldn't take lightly if I spoiled it for everyone else. But just with the fact it's ending so early at its peak, do people agree or disagree with this kind of decision of it ending? Personally, for me, it's kind of hit or miss, and I can kind of see both opinions in a certain way, and I think there is valid reasons for it ending or for it continuing. Just because I'm going to start off with the reasons for it continuing. So, I mean, in My Hero Academia, there's been multiple arcs, but all with the same overarching villain, just with different sub-villains, like, uh, Gentle and La Brava. You have, not Shigaraki, Overhaul. Had to, I was lagging a bit there. But you had Overhaul, uh, I mean, I don't know if you necessarily want to call All for One a sub villain. I mean, I guess he kind of is a sub villain because Shigaraki's the primary villain, but he's still a main villain, I guess. Anyway, you have a lot of these sub villains, but with the main overarching villain being Shigaraki in all of them, and he did make his appearances in most of the arcs, except the festival arc. I don't think he really made an appearance in there. Regardless, in my opinion, just because there is that one overarching villain, we've seen it with other series that they've had multiple main villains. I'm going to use Dragon Ball as an example. Maybe not the best example, but it's Godfather of Anime, dude. Frieza was a main villain in his arc. Cell was a main villain in his arc. Boo was a main villain in his arc. And you have other animes like this. Um, Hunter x Hunter. That's actually a much better example. In this, you do have multiple overarching villains. I don't know if I would call Hisoka an overarching villain in the training exam in the Hunter exam arc. I don't know if to call it training exam. The Hunter exam arc, Chimera and arc. Also, obviously, you had Miriam. But yeah, so in anime like these, you have multiple overarching villains, and why can't My Hero do this at the same time? My Hero is a series, like I said, who's only had one villain. All of their characters are still in high school. None of them have actually been professional. I mean, I guess they are professional heroes, but adult professional heroes with their own individual agencies, fighting crime, you know. in that sort of sense. And I feel like the My Hero series could push to do that later on if they continued it, which, for many fans might be an L move just because they probably don't want to see their series getting pushed that far and possibly releasing mediocre content as it continues. And that's really the other side of the argument, whether or not they're going to keep on releasing content and it become mediocre over time, just like we've kind of seen with other anime. One of the biggest examples that, a lot of people are hit or miss on. I personally like the second arc, but Death Note. You started off with L being the original antagonist, I guess, to Light Yagami, and that was definitely the peak of the show. But then you had the Nier arc, which I don't personally think was bad, but a lot of people definitely didn't like it as much as the L arc, and I can kind of see why why people have that difference in opinion. Yeah, as I've kind of been saying, in my opinion, there definitely is room to push the series a bit farther if they wanted to make a new overarching villain. But people might not take this as well just because of, you know, how much development there's been with a lot of the other, not just the individual UA high school class, but with people like around, um, with heroes like around the class, I'm not gonna I don't want to spoil too much, but heroes have died, bro. Heroes have died. There's been a lot of developments with these heroes, and it probably wouldn't hit the same to bring them like all those older heroes back again. And if they did decide to bring like another new villain like Shigaraki into the series. But I mean, I'm just wondering, this is kind of the reason why I'm asking this to you guys, just because it's such a big fan base, such a huge difference in opinions, and I'd kind of like to see each other's reasoning for whether you're for the series ending or whether you're for it like continuing. But yeah, people who aren't for it continuing, I definitely understand, the fact that you don't want to you don't want to have your series overstay its welcome and then become bad because a lot of creators lose interest in their projects, and it's not necessarily a very nice feeling when you see your series get shit on like that. You know what I mean? It's not. I personally wouldn't take it well, especially with the series I followed like for so long with My Hero Academia. As you can see, I have a little poster of My Hero, so I'm a real fan because I have that poster. But yeah, I do understand difference in opinion. Other other examples though of series that have kind of pushed those limits and boundaries of how far you can take a series like One Piece, Bleach, we're still continuing to this day, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to see what you guys thought of My Hero. Another series I kind of want to talk about, not in this video, but I guess it's like foreshadowing. It's Hunter x Hunter. How do y'all feel about that? That situation is a bit different, but I'd like to get to that in another video. Spoilers, I guess, for another video I'd like to make. But anyway, leave your opinions down in the comments below, and hope to see y'all soon on streams, on future videos, that sort of thing. I do want to start posting on my Instagram more, and I have some pretty good ideas for more content I'd like to make on this channel. I'd really appreciate you guys if you gave me a subscribe, a like, and just comment. But anyway, thank you guys.